Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And this is the one you've all been waiting for. Last week the inevitable happened. Mike decided that he may have a happier life without Natalie. Or is it Natasha? And so I'm going to break down for you guys what I think was behind Mike changing his mind on the night before the wedding. And I'm also going to let you know if I think Natalie was right in refusing to give him back the ring. So this week Natalie's hyperventilating and breaking down and having panic attacks, but Natalie, it's better to have loved and lost than to spend the whole of your life with somebody like Mike. Before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. I really do appreciate the support. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ebird Online. And before I forget, smash the like button if you enjoy the content. And so without further ado, I give you Mike and Natalie. So a lot of you guys were saying when Natalie was talking to her mum last week, she was calling her Natasha and not Natalie, and some people on social media were saying, why has she given a fake name? So I remember many years ago from my ex-Russian business partner, and she told me that Natalie and Natasha were the same name. And I thought, well, how can that be? They're completely different names. But as it turns out, Natalie is the given name, but Natasha is like a pet name for Natalie. So in the same way that Elizabeth is the main name and Betty or Libby or Lizzie is a derivative of that and not the given name. And there's nothing more to this big mystery than that. So the first time we see the couple this week, it's the day of their non-wedding. And Natalie and Tamara are getting ready to drive to Seattle to stay in a motel for the night before Natalie flies to France the following day. And when I hear this plan, I think this doesn't make any sense. Mike's got her a flight to France, but why not Germany or somewhere much further east? That way there'd be less train journeys to have to take to get back home to the Ukraine. It's a typical nonsensical decision from Mike and Natalie, and I bet my bottom dollar that the reason Mike's got a flight to France is because somehow it's cheaper than going to Germany. I guarantee it. He's such a cheapskate. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mike's awfully simple and simply awful. And I've got to say for tomorrow, this journey is going to be the journey from hell. Having to listen to Natalie drone and moan and complain and cry and whine on is a cruel and unusual punishment. Although I guess it does give her a straight 24 hours off from Uncle Beau. So Uncle Beau is helping Natalie load up the last of her cases. Thankfully she's travelling light. And Natalie tells Uncle Beau, I'm sorry I was a bitch earlier, but thank you, you're a very nice man. But I will not keep in touch, I cannot. You slur your words and I would never understand. And Uncle Beau nods. He's not bothered anyway. And they're just about to get in the car when Mike comes slowly lumbering out of the trailer, ranch. Oh my god, he looks terrible and understandably tired. He hasn't had any sleep, you see. He was busy piping Natalie 5 times last night just before he gave her marching orders. And Mike says, I'm really sorry. Yes, you're right, you're a sorry ass so-and-so. And I want to believe him, I really do. But somehow, I just don't. Unfortunately, Mike has let it be known that he hates the ground that Natalie walks on for, well, the last about 86 days. So it surely can't come as any surprise that he didn't want to marry her. Mike, if you know you hate someone, the overwhelming chances are you're not likely to want to marry them. That's just kind of how love, relationships and marriage work. Natalie gets into the car and Mike pops up like a human gargoyle at her window. I wonder what he wants. Oh my good lord, he wants forgiveness, are you kidding me? And he says again, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm sure you'll work out a few choice words in, well, just about a few seconds. Oh, here we go. What is this, sorry Michael? You're sending me home during coronavirus. What is this, sorry? Thank you to you for that. Thank you to you. Find American girl, okay? I will not contact you, okay? Natalie, you know good and well Mike can't find an American girl. That's why he's scratching around the Ukraine. He needs to bolster his ranch and his lifestyle with a little soupçon of green card. Personally, I think it's back to the hairdresser for Mike. She fancied him, and that's at best. Who knows, maybe Tamara has a sister. And she has another couple of rounds of Michael is a monster. And she and Tamara drive off towards the motel. And as they're driving off, Natalie has another panic attack and she's crying and tears are streaming down her face. And the truth be told, Tamara seems like a really nice lady. She's a good girl for putting up with all this, well, tomfoolery. She barely knows Natalie and she's right in the middle of it all. But as they're driving along to Seattle, she gets a text from Mike and he lets her know that they can't check in at the hotel because they don't have his credit card. And so apparently they need this as ID. And so they drive back to the ranch. And Mike comes up to the car and he hands over the credit card. But what the fresh hell is this? Then Mike says, hey Natalie, you got the ring? Yes, she's got the bloody ring. You know you gave Natalie the ring back. She's been going on and on about it for months. Of course she's got the bloody ring. Can I have it back? Mike, what do you think? No, you can't. And Natalie says, no, I have the right to keep the ring. You decide to break up with me. It's mine. I want the ring back. No, I deserve to have the ring. I want to remember my pain, my horror, my suffering, and that Mike is a monster. Natalie, I want the ring back. No. Sometimes, Mike, no is just a complete sentence. Are you just going to sell it? And Natalie said no. But to be quite honest, I would have said yes. It's $5,000. Would you like to buy it, Mike? And the whole time this is going on, poor Tamara is looking left and right. She wants the ground to swallow her up. And then Mike said, I just want to say bye. Can you get out of the car, please? Mike, do you think she's stupid? Mike just wants Natalie to get out of the car so he can wrestle the ring off her. Natalie's wise to Mike's little tactics. And she said, why? And he said, I just want to say bye. Well, you can say bye here, Mike. And she said, no, Tamara, just go. Oh, Natalie, Mike just wants to say bye. I know. Wait till she gets to the motel and give her a ring. Mike really is a card. I actually can't believe he's going on about this at this time. And he's still trying. He said, I just want to give you one last hug, Natalie. Michael, who would that be for? We know your game and you're not very good at it. Not very good at all. Have you been taking lessons from Andrew? You're transparent. Tamara still isn't moving, so Natalie begins another panic attack and she starts hyperventilating. Okay, Natalie, you win. Our ears are bleeding now. And finally Tamara drives off. A Vec ring. And as they're driving away, Tamara said, he just wanted to give you a hug. Yeah, I bet. What's this? Oh my God, my ring finger's missing. And my ring. That's the hug that Mike wanted to give her. He wanted to wrestle that thing right off her finger. And that's where we leave this unhappy couple for this week. So what does the Ebird make to all of this? And guys, I've got to say, this is a really difficult one for me. Mike does actually look sorry, but the way he's behaved, it's really difficult for me to believe that he is sorry. And I know I said last week that Mike kind of planned this, but I don't think he actually planned it. I think it was just laissez-faire with regard to Natalie's feelings. So this is what I think happened. He thought to himself, maybe at the last minute I will want to get married and I don't want to squander that opportunity. So he decided to reluctantly give her the ring. And we saw his face when he was giving the ring. He really didn't want to give it. And he just thought to himself, I know, I'll spend nothing on this. I'll invite nobody. I'll organise the wedding and then I'll just see how I feel on the day of or the day before. And if I change my mind, then so be it. And I think that's what Mike's game was. And for some reason, he's got such little regard for Natalie's feelings that he must have thought it would be no big deal if I just call it off at the last minute. But unfortunately for him, we're dealing with Natalie. The moment he gave Natalie the ring back, Natalie thought, great, we're back on track. And I think for her, the ring was her insurance. He wouldn't have given me back the ring unless he'd decided to put the past behind him and look to the future and get married to me. And in my mind, Mike was extremely selfish for this course of action. Of course, the other thing that it could be is my original theory, which was he was just making money from TLC. And you know, they get paid $1,500 for every episode they tape. And so by taking it right to the end of the season, won't they get married, he was able to maximise this income. That's another possibility. Either way, it shows a massive lack of compassion. And again, another great example of Mike's lack of compassion was when Natalie was going and he wanted to give her a hug. Now I know I said it's because he wants to get the ring, and I low-key think that was the case. However, how does he think this is going to make Natalie feel? What's the point of saying I'm sorry when you've just dropped her from a great height? Mike wants Natalie to accept his pathetic little I am sorry just so that he can feel better about himself. Mike wants them to be friends. And do you know what? You can be friends, just not with each other. And I did see on social media some people saying that Natalie got what was coming to her because she obviously told Mike at the end of last season that she wasn't in love with him and that she would grow to love him. And this was just payback. I don't find it to be the case. Natalie said what she said, not out of nastiness to Mike, not out of selfishness, but in fact because that was actually how she was feeling. We can see in Natalie that she's truthful to a fault. Note how she said to Uncle Bo in this episode, when he said, keep in touch, she was like, no, I won't keep in touch with you because I can't. And it was in very much the same vein when producers said to her, do you love Mike? And she said, I will grow to love him. Mike took that as a massive slate. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't great, but it wasn't done maliciously or it wasn't done selfishly. Mike's actions were malicious at worst, but at best, selfish. And finally, my thoughts on the ring. 99 times out of 100, I would say if a man gives you an engagement ring and then he decides, through no fault of yours, to call the engagement off, it's your ring. Bad luck. You've wasted my time and my love. So with that, I take the ring. However, on this one occasion, I would say that Natalie should probably give the ring back, for the sole reason that it was Mike's grandmother's and it's a family heirloom. However, if I were Natalie, I wouldn't give back the ring anytime soon. I'd get back to the Ukraine and then at some time in the future, I'd post it back to him. Oh my god, I've just had a fantastic idea. What I'd do is drive to Seattle, as we know Mike works in Seattle anyway. I'd pawn the ring and then I'd let Mike know, here's the pawn slip, you can go and get the ring back if it means so much to you. That is what I'd do. I'd pawn it. So guys, let me know what you think. What would you do with the ring? Would you just give it back to Mike? Would you just throw it out the window and have him scrabble around on the floor for it? I guess she has thrown it before. And why do you think Mike called this all off? Do you think it was always his plan never to get married to her? Or do you think he just kind of hedged his bets and didn't give an F about Natalie's feelings? What was his mens rea? Was it selfish or was it malicious? Let me know in comments down below, and I will see you very soon with another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've yet to do so. Make Ebird a very happy Ebird. And don't forget to press the like button. It really does wonders for my analytics. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.